so let's continue about function overloading, right? Previously, when we were talking about default values, right? Now it's pretty much you are using the same function in several different ways, right? But what if the parameters themselves changes, and you want to be able to very much use the same function name because it has the same function, just the parameter may be slightly changed. So for example, if you're making uh, a function that basically calculate average of double values, right? And does not really cater for integer, then this is what you can create. It will have the same function name. It's just that we have to overload previous function, right? And this is where the topic where we say reusing function names, right? Where we also call it overloading, right? Function overloading is basically using the same function name for more than one function, right? So the compiler themselves must be able to determine which function to use based on the data type of parameters given, right? So if I'm just calling one parameter and the data type is integer, then I'll look for this kind of function first, right? That will satisfy this function call, right? So basically when you're doing this, basically you have to write two functions, right? Each function must be written separately. Of course, then you would need two different function prototype as well, right? Because they are basically two different functions, right? So here's two functions that are similar, right? One function, two functions, right? Name cd abs, right? cd absolute, right? So if you look at this, one consider x and it has x equals to negative. If it will assign x equals to negative x and return a value, and the other one will be similar, right? The absolute value of the float is some kind, right? So this is something that's particularly dealing with a float value and the integer value, and this is particularly dealing with a float value, right? So the function calls would be something that handles integer, and the other one is something that deals with a float value, right? So this is very clear, right? So whenever you're defining this kind of function, right, the function prototype would really matter here, right? Now I'm wondering why this is not displaying the function type that we're looking at, right? So I think there's a font problem here, color font problem. All right, okay. So the function that you're going to call is really important, right? So instead of having three functions, right, you could have just one function that looks the same with different parameters, right? Now so before we continue on this issue, right, we're going to talk about function templates, right? Now templates are a beautiful way to make things abstract in your programming so that you don't have to rewrite functions that you're gonna have that has the same functionality, right? We'll continue again on the next session, so I'll see you in a bit.